Hi, everybody. We are taking a look at Jose's resume. This is a real person who has asked me for a resume review. We have anonymized their personal information. Now, this is on paper, more junior person. They are a bootcamp um, grad like me. Um, so I'm going to, sort of go into this with a mindset of how can I help this person. Um, it looks like probably get their first, like big time software job, right? They have some internship experience, fellowship. So let's kind of go at it with that mindset, right? Um, I'll kind of go over this in parts. I'll do some review of sort of the styling and formatting first, and then I'll kind of dig in to the actual content of what they're saying in some of the bullet points. All right, so um, software developer. I don't necessarily know if this is going to help. Um, I think, based on the types of jobs that you are applying for, uh, combined with just the presentation of your resume, especially having this technical skills up top. I don't know if you actually need to say software developer. I don't know if that's helping at all. um Links are all fine. You can remove the blue color. You can just make these black. They'll still be linkable in a digital PDF, but you may, who knows, maybe the resume will look slightly more uniform and perhaps have a better chance with ATS if these are not a different color from the rest of the text. Okay, the overview section. In general, the way that I look at overview sections is, you really only need an overview section if you have some very sort of specific offering, or if you are sort of looking for some very specific offering. So let's say you are like just a 10x individual contributor with embedded systems. That might be unique enough to where it's something you might want to highlight in this sort of thing. Now, this individual is sort of I'm going to say this word, but I'm not going to say it in a disparaging way. They're sort of a standard MERN stack software developer, same as myself. So I don't mean that in a bad way at all. But there isn't really anything like inherently unique in their software engineering stack. The offering here is, okay, I'm Node, Express, React, Mongo, Python, Django, and Postgres. So, you know, JavaScript front end, Python, or JavaScript backend, fine. Dynamic feature-rich applications that deliver exceptional user experiences. You really shouldn't have to explicitly say this. This should be demonstrated in your bullet points. It's like a show, don't tell kind of thing. Dedicated team player, again, I would hope so. Strong collaboration skills, passion for continuous learning, seeking a challenging opportunity to contribute to the development of cutting-edge web applications and software systems. Okay, so what I'm going to say about these two sentences strongly convey, I am junior, I don't have professional experience, and I'm looking for a place to go to be employed where I can learn. Now, there's nothing inherently wrong with that, but we have to understand that with the market the way that it is right now, companies are very reluctant to hire junior engineers. They're very reluctant to hire engineers that will need a lot of training and a lot of handholding. So to position yourself as, I am someone who is going to need a lot of handholding and help, it might not be a winning strategy. If you can instead position yourself as, I am someone who has mastery of these things of XYZ. I'm someone who can, lead the production of a particular feature or experience or application from 0 to 1. I am someone who, if I don't know the answer to something, right? This is like Will Smith in when he's doing the Rubik's Cube, The Pursuit of Happiness. He's like, I'm the type of person, if I don't know the answer to something, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna figure it out. So it might be a more winning strategy here to try and strongly convey overall, not just this section, but the entirety of the resume. I am someone who, although I don't have a lot of big time experience on paper, I'm someone who has, independently mastered these things, built great projects with them. And if you hire me, I'm ready to hit the ground running. So you want to convey that you are someone who will not need a lot of help in getting off the ground. So let's take a look a little bit further, right? So in your particular case, unless you can sort of find some unique skill offering, I don't really think this particular summary section is actually really benefiting you much at all. Yeah, let's move on to technical skills. Technical skills basically accomplishes two things. It signals to hiring managers and whoever might be like the first line of defense reading your resume, whether they're a technical or non-technical recruiter or hiring manager or someone at the company or someone not at the company. This signals to them, okay, this person is a software engineer. They've worked with impressive technologies, right? Like keyword impressive. To think about non-technical hiring people. They might not know the difference between Java and JavaScript, but they will certainly, be wowed by an impressive looking section here. And sometimes that's all it takes to get that initial phone screen, right? So technical skills. This is fine. We can definitely, beef it up, whether that be through, in your continued, by the way, after bootcamp, you should absolutely 110% be continuing to build things in your spare time and iterate things on the projects that you've been working on. We should be expanding this skill set, right? Maybe, a month from now, you might not only be able to say React, but also be able to say Next.js. So that's just another, packing word. The thing I'm trying to convey here is, we want to make this section look as impressive as possible. So for first line of defense, for people seeing this, for real people seeing this, for humans, and then also for ATS, right? The more relevant keywords, relevant to the types of jobs that you're looking at, the more relevant keywords that we have throughout the resume, but here especially, the better chances, right? And that's all we're doing. That's all we're trying to do at the end of the day, is just improve our chances to break through that first line of defense to get those phone screens. Okay. Software engineering projects. So here's the thing. Even though you only have a fellowship and an internship, I still think that your experience section should sit on top of your projects section. Because the way that it sits right now conveys to me, I am a bootcamp grad. But if the experience, and particularly the internship, if this sits on top of the projects section, that conveys to me, okay, I actually have a little bit of experience in the industry. Even if it is as an intern, I would say that positioning wise, interns probably have a slight leg up in terms of perception, have a slightly better leg up against bootcamp grads. So I would probably move the experience section above the projects section. So let's look at the experience section first. The dates should be right aligned. Technical keywords should be front loaded. And what I mean by that is, if, right, some hiring managers are going to take 5 seconds to look at your resume. That's all they're going to give you. They're going to give you 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 15, maybe, right? So when someone who is on a very, very tight schedule looks down your resume, the way their eyes are going to trace your resume is going to be top to bottom, very fast, looking primarily at the left side of your bullet points. So the more of these impressive keywords that we can stuff towards the left side of your bullet points, the better. So that when their eyes trace down the left side, they'll see more of these keywords right here. So if I were to just do this as a practice, right? Here, and by the way, let's come back to this. If I were to trace my eyes down, right, top to bottom, I see Node, Express, React, Mongo, user authentication, API. This looks empty to me just as a glance. Like there's no keywords here. There's no keywords here. There's no keywords here. Google Books doesn't really convey software engineering to me, but then I see API. Django, API, authentication, Node, Express, Mongo. There's nothing here. JavaScript. Conditional logic. As a non-technical person, I don't know what this means. Multimedia doesn't scream software engineering to me. AI. Ooh, AI. Model view controller. Cool, but as a non-technical person, I don't know what this is. Yeah, this looks empty. This looks empty. Most of this whole thing looks pretty empty towards the front. So yeah, we definitely want to front load as much as possible these technical terms. Okay. Let's talk a little bit about facts and figures, hard numerical numbers. Stuff like this, and like this, and like this. I am going to say that we want to get as many metrics like that onto your resume as possible. And by the way, probably try as much as possible to front load those as well. So let's say that, let's take one of these, for example. Integrate key features utilizing model view controller framework and Express and Node for backend efficiency and readability. Okay, the way that I would probably rephrase this is something like used Express and Node to integrate key features utilizing model view controller framework for backend efficiency and readability, however you want to do the end of that. Yeah, but just make sure we're front loading these terms. If possible, it would be great in this internship to see some hard numerical accomplishments. If you don't have any, that's fine. See if you can get some, right? It says you're currently in this internship, so that would be a great thing to try and find. That would be things that you can pull out of observability tooling like New Relic. If maybe if you're not sure where to sort of get, it can even be like business related things, right? Like because of this feature that we deployed, our customer base grew 70% or whatever. Those always look good, right? So this is the whole like mantra of the resume, right? Is we don't know necessarily whether it's first hitting technical or non-technical people. The point is, it needs to look impressive. Now, that's not to say that we should be lying. We should be truthful. But there's a way to be truthful and make it look impressive, make it look highly technical, make it look like you have mastery, right? Because the important thing here is breaking through that first line of defense to get the phone screens. And then once you get the phone screen, from the phone screen to the offer, the ball is entirely in your court on how you perform. But you don't have any say over how you perform in that first line of defense. You just have to have an impressive looking resume, right? So okay, so going into some of the content of these things. Completed 480 hours of expert-led instructions. This conveys to me I am a student, but it does not convey to me I have led any sort of process. I have made any sort of decision. I have built something. I have, architected something. So you had instruction, and I'm curious during this fellowship, what sort of things did you build? What sort of decisions did you make? What sort of problems did you run up against, and how did you solve those problems? At the end of the day, with really, really any one of these bullet points in the resume, we should be thinking about what were the particular problems that we solved, and why did we choose the technologies that we did to solve those problems? Let's take a look at some of these projects, right? Project section. I don't think you need the technologies listed for by project. Your mileage may vary. I think those are probably better conveyed in your bullet points. Which, by the way, some of these bullet points are sort of like orphaned endings, right? There's a lot of white space to the right of this. I would like to see if you can either condense this to just one line or stretch it so it gets closer to the end of the second line. And I'd like to see you dig more into how you used, rather than saying like, as an overview, I built an application using MERNStack. I would like to see you dig more into how you used each one of these particular technologies to solve particular problems. And, maybe you can think about things like, well, I used Mongo because the particular type of entity that I was storing in my database, I knew that there was going to be like a bazillion of them. So I needed something that was going to scale. Or you can say, well, I used Mongoose, to write these, let's say like these, I'm not super familiar with Mongoose, but I'm assuming it's some sort of ORM over Mongo to, so that you don't have to write the Mongo, the Mongo query syntax. And it'd be good to know, well, I picked Mongo and I picked Mongoose in particular because it solves XYZ particular problem. Right? So we're always trying to think about like, I picked this particular technology to solve this particular problem because XYZ. These links, again, I would definitely remove the blue color. You can experiment also with just omitting any links to them at all, because ultimately the people reading your resume are 99% of the time, they're probably not going to look at these things. So always trying to think about like, what can I convey here? How can I convey mastery? Does this convey I am a student? Does this convey I'm a bootcamp grad? Or does this convey I built a really cool thing using these technologies and solving these problems, right? Because we want to convey I am a problem solver. Let's see. Additional responsibilities. Uh, this is cool. Props. I don't know if you're really getting, I don't know if this is going to help you or hurt you. I feel like this might hurt, this might be more like it's, if it's not as a practice, right? Trying to think about like, if this doesn't help me, it can only hurt me. And I'm not sure any of this really conveys. I'm a software engineer. I'm using software technology. I'm using libraries and frameworks and languages to solve hard software problems. I'm not sure if any of this really conveys that. Same with this. I don't really see anything. That's cool. Uh, I don't see anything here that conveys technical problem solving. So you might want to experiment with just leaving this section out completely. Education. Um, A/B testing, right? Have one resume that has this stuff on it and one that does not. See which one gets better results. There is often a bias against bootcamp grads. So if you omit these things, see what happens. Um, guessing you didn't finish college. I don't think that, I mean, I don't think that would be a knock against you, but again, same sort of thing. Maybe experiment with just omitting this. I'll sort of let you you know, follow your gut on that one. Yeah, overall, it's good stuff. My best advice for you, right, for sort of a first time, big time tech world, enterprise software, job seeker, quantity is going to be your best friend. Apply to as many jobs as you possibly can. Don't limit yourself to only looking for entry level junior jobs. Apply for mid level jobs. Apply for senior jobs. Apply for as many jobs as you possibly can. Be less discerning in the application, you know, the blasting application phase. And then maybe later on you can be more discerning in the actual results that you get back. You can experiment with automation tooling like lazy apply. You know, it'll apply to all these easy applies for you. But yeah, again, all of this is sort of an iterative process. Try stuff, blast out a couple hundred applications with an iteration of this resume. See if you get any better results. Continue iterating from there. And definitely continue honing your skills, continue building stuff. Look for open source projects to contribute to. Iterate on the things that you've already built. Study, study, study. Study hard. It's going to be you know, early career software professionals right now. It is going to be an extremely difficult job search. That's just the reality of it. That's just the nature of it. Best things you can do are just get better and better and better in your skills. Apply to as many jobs as you can possibly find. Shotgun approach. Invariably, with an enormous quantity of applications, you will get some conversion, even if it's like a 0.05 conversion. You know, you send out 1,000 applications. You send out 2,000 applications. You get from that, you get 10 phone screens. Study hard. From the phone screen to the offer stage, it's entirely, the ball is in your court on how much you know, on how much you're able to demonstrate. Do your leak coding, do your studying, keep building. Start reading some system design articles. You got this. It's going to be a tough road. It's going to be a very tough road. Develop that grit mindset, growth mindset, grit mindset. Push through it. It's going to be all right.